We are live, as I say. We are live from Collingswood, New Jersey, Joyful Gathering Spirituals. Of course, everyone here knows where we are, but those in video land now know where we are. So last Sunday was part one of this talk, and I began our time together by sharing with you a number of beautiful and inspiring quotes. And they were written by some pretty powerful individuals. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Jesus, our religious science founder, Ernest Holmes, Joseph Campbell, and even Walt Disney, who was brilliant, as we know. All of the statements were about the truth of who we are, the real truth, which we're going to get into today, of who we are and the inherent powers of choosing to be who we came here to be. And choosing to live our dreams. Two of these quotes will be the foundation from which this talk will unfold this morning as we explore who would you be if you knew you could not fail, part two. Part two. It's ongoing, but before we delve into the message today, though, I wanted to go over the very basics of science of mind. So like a little refresher course. I know there are those here who are in our foundation class. In fact, there I see you. Some of the people in our fabulous, we have a wonderful foundation class going. And so this is great. They'll understand what I am talking about right here and right now. So, okay. So the first thing I want to give you is a little insight into what we believe here. What do we believe? I want to give you a moment, and really just a moment, of Science of Mind highlights, because it's quite all-encompassing. So here are three of the fundamental tenets of this spirituality, Science of Mind. First, God is all there is. One presence, one power, only one, not two, not God and, only one. And that is represented by a circle that has no beginning, that has no end, that everything is created inside of the circle that we call God, divine energy. To me, it's all energy. This infinite energy, that nothing exists outside of this loving energy. And I just want to break down, this is the Science of Mind symbol, as I've said before, with us in it. We're the happy, joyful people in the middle. But I'm going to explain what that really is. That's very, very important part of Joyful Gathering. But the second tenet is that God has three aspects or modes of being. Now, God really doesn't have that, but we use that because Ernest Holmes gave us this tool to try to understand the infinite allness that is the divine. It's beyond our comprehension, but we need to use it in life when we become aware of how to use it, the creative process. So we have divided, Ernest Holmes gave us this. So this is the circle right here, and it's divided into three parts. One on the top, the middle, and the bottom. I'm going to explain what's in those three things. This is the creative process. This is how we create our lives, our experiences in this world. So for our purpose, God has three aspects of being. Spirit, the top part, divine intelligence and love. The first cause, all up here, right? And this is in divinity, this is in God. So this is the cause, the thing itself, or as we say, the seed. That's what begins. So our thoughts, for us, our thoughts begin our creative process. The middle part is the law, or the soil, the soul, that which is receptive and takes what is implanted into it and brings it into perfect manifestation in our lives. See how the law of cause and effect work. The cause is the thought, and the effect is the manifestation, and it goes through the law, the soul, the soil. So tomato plant is the seed, little seed, not even a plant, it's a seed. We plant it into the ground. The ground doesn't say, oh, I'm not going to grow a tomato today. The ground just says, yes, I'm going to manifest. I'm just going to give you what you planted. And the manifestation then is a tomato. We get tomatoes from that. And it's the same with our thoughts. What are we focusing on is what we are implanting into this neutral, we'll call it law, and what becomes what we experience in our life, the manifestations. So, the manifestation of spirit planting a divine idea in the law is all of us. We are all incarnations of the oneness, God itself. Each one of us has in a microcosm the smaller way of creating that the great I Am has in all that exists. There's nothing that exists that is outside of God. God lives, moves, and has its being as me and as you. We are all little God selves. We are. And so this is God showing up as Margaret right here. And each of you, by your first name, is showing up in this world. So that V, you can't see this, but maybe you can. This is a V. This is spirit descending into the manifestation. So it's all part of creating what we want. See, here when we really understand the creative process, we create what we desire, our dreams in our lives. But we do it consciously. We are aware of that. Now here are some of the reasons that we get together each week as a community. First, to share the love felt within the walls here at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. The second is to emanate our light, because each and every one of us has a light within us. Sometimes it looks dim, but it's there. It's always there. And third, to explore the spiritual truth that we simply are here to let God be God in us. How powerful we are. And we're going to get into that this morning. How powerful we truly are. So picking up where we concluded last week, today we continue to explore who we are in God and who we might be in the world if we knew we could not fail. And to return to my two favorite quotes from last week that will serve as our foundation for this morning. The first is from New Thought writer Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies in front of us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And the second one is from Science of Mind founder Ernest Holmes. No one has ever tried and failed in conscious cooperation with the universe itself. I'm going to break these down. What lies behind you and what lies before you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. That's personal. And then, you cannot try and fail when you are in conscious cooperation with the universe itself. And to make them even more personal, I'm going to have you repeat them after me. So let's repeat them after me. What lies behind me?
What lies behind me?
What lies before me?
What lies before me?
Are tiny matters compared to what lies within me.
Compared to what lies within me.
And the other quote, I cannot try and fail.
I cannot try and fail.
When I am in conscious cooperation
When I am in conscious conscious cooperation
with the universe itself.
with the universe itself.
And that's the truth. That's the truth. So what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters to what lies within us. Something happens to us, truly, to the way we begin to think, to the way we view the world, to the way we respond, to the way we speak, to the way we act, when we've lived with this quote for a while and taking it literally as a belief system for ourselves. When we begin to live from this idea that what lies behind us are history, and what lies before us, the future, are tiny matters with what lies within us, that power within us. When we really begin to live from that power within us, that's where our divine self, it resides, and it guides us all of the time when we're aware of it and when we pay attention to it, and we start to show up differently in the world. Put your thoughts right now on the power of the one who gives you life. You don't even have enough power to breathe on your own. Wow, simple as that. There's something so much greater that breathes through us, as us, for us. There is a power within us that does all that. This power is life itself. This power is what we call God. There is nothing we can do to diminish it, or to destroy it, or to alter it in any way. It is our divine light. It will live eternally, even when these bodies are ready to be released. That divine light will always be within us. It is so powerful. And I love these words from Ernest Holmes in Living the Science of Mind. He writes, "Therefore we say that the river of life is forever flowing through us. It appears that we have the ability, at least temporarily, to pollute the stream of life with the consciousness of hate, despair, or any negative thought which denies its purity. But of course, we do not really have the power to destroy, only to mold and remold. It is fortunate indeed that this is true. For in spite of all misdirection, we are still being carried forward on the bosom of the infinite stream to a harbor of perfect safety. We may rest," he says, "in absolute assurance that good, with a capital G, good, will be the final goal of all things. We can hasten the advent of the good by definitely clarifying our thought and by daily meditating upon the invisible source, the wellspring of life within us." So the question then this morning is, who would you be if you knew you could not fail? If you knew that the final goal of all things was really good, divine good? Would you be one who embraces life, celebrates it, and absolutely lives fully in this day? Because we only have the now moment. We only have this day, right here, right now. We don't even have the whole day. We only have this instant and this instant. That's what we have. Would you begin to feel it on a cellular level, that things are unfolding exactly as they should, at the rate and timing that they need to? You would start to trust the process and stop trying to push the rhythm. Make things happen. Would you, on a deep and fundamental level, just let go and relax? That's the let go and let God part. Just relax into it. It's already done in Divine Mind. I showed you the creative process. Not from a defeated perspective, no, but from a place of complete and total assurance that all is well. All is well. I love that saying. Would you or wouldn't you? The choice is always ours. We get to choose. And then would you sit in bemused curiosity, eager to witness the next miracle in your life? Detached from what it is or when it comes, yet knowing it is bound to happen because they always do. As the reading said, when we know, we absolutely believe and know. And you would feel so spacious, receptive, and open to what is wanting to birth forth from you, resting in the knowing that God is your source, always in all ways. God is the source of good. You wouldn't cling to any plan or perceived outcome, but rather you would realize that all is working toward for your highest good. Everything is unfolding in your life for your highest good when you use this awareness and truly believe. And so you patiently wait for the indicators and the right timing rather than ripping open the cocoon prematurely. I have a story about that later on. You trust that any delay is absolutely perfect. This is who you would be, my friends, if you knew you could not fail. This is who you would be, open and receptive to divine good at all times in the perfect time in my life, in your life, in each one's life. Pretty amazing way to live life. This is another way to live life. And each one here is pretty amazing. So we go to the second quote. I cannot try and fail when I am in conscious cooperation with the universe itself. That's that alignment. Conscious cooperation with the universe itself means realizing all those things that I just said. Conscious cooperation with the universe itself means that we realize that what we might perceive as a failure, which I don't believe in that word, but what we might call a failure, it just means things didn't work out the way we thought they were going to work out, is really just the necessary step in the process of being who we truly came here to be. In fact, the perceived failure, the perceived struggle, may be exactly what is required of us to become who we came here to be. Who would you be if you knew this? Powerful, truly is. I have a great story. Nikos Kazantzakis, author of Absorber the Greek, told a touching story in his autobiography. It was called Report to Greco. So this story is often seen in various forms, but it's also often not attributed, and it's paraphrased incorrectly. But I want to give you the whole story, and this is what this masterful writer really wrote, and this comes directly from Greek. I remember, he says, one morning when I discovered a cocoon in the bark of a tree. Just as a butterfly was making a hole in its case and preparing to come out, I waited a while, but it was too long appearing, and I was impatient. I bent over it and breathed on it to warm it. I warmed it as quickly as I could, and the miracle began to happen before my eyes, faster than life. The case opened. The butterfly started slowly crawling out, and I shall never forget my horror when I saw how its wings were folded back and crumpled The wretched butterfly tried with all its trembling body to unfold its wings. Bending over it, I tried with my breath in vain. It needed to be hatched patiently, and the unfolding of its wings should be a gradual process in the sun. Now it was too late. My breath had forced the butterfly to appear, all crumbled before its time. It struggled desperately, and a few seconds later died in the palm of my hand. The little body is, I believe, the greatest weight I have on my conscience. For as a result today, that it is a mortal sin to violate the great laws of nature. We should not hurry. We should not be impatient. But we should confidently obey the eternal rhythm. As butterflies emerge from the cocoon, it presses and strains, which pumps fluid from its large body into its wings. The process strengthens the wings and shrinks the body. Without the struggle, the butterfly emerges with weak wings and an unwieldy body, and it cannot survive. This is our life process as well. We emerge from a chrysalis state to become our real divine selves. And there may be what seems like a struggle. Struggle is part of life. There may appear to be failures. Yet the more we continue through them, with the realization that we cannot try and fail, when we are in conscious cooperation with the universe itself, the greater the reward. The greater the reward. For us, it's not a single experience. We emerge over and over again, growing into new ways of being, exploring one way, then trying another, until we find the right fit. No one can open the cocoon for us, because it is through the effort that we develop the strength to fly free. Oh, that gives me godbumps. Oh, yes, it does. We struggle, and at the end of that struggle, if we are looking for, we just release it. I'm open and receptive. The good that comes forth, it contributes to our awareness, to the strength and the beauty of who we truly are. We fly free. You may head so far in one direction that you feel there's no way back. But there's always a way back, because there is an internal compass, and it's set on your dream. Somewhere in you is your dream. Keep that focus, your dream. The stuff is all taking place, but there's a dream. God always makes a way when there appears to be no way. I love that. God always makes a way when there appears, I can't do this of myself. That's why we give it to God. I let go and I let God. And I want to bring our time this morning to a close by a series of beautiful statements from Diane Harmony's book, Gifts for an Abundant Life. And it asks and answers the question, what does it mean to dream? To dream, she says, to open yourself to the thoughts of God. To dream is to become consciously aware of the desires of God that want to come through you. To dream is to choose one thought and say yes to it. To dream is to surrender into the mind of your heart, where the invisible idea can find fertile soil to grow and become, no matter what the external circumstance. None of it matters. To dream is to step beyond what is to what can be. To dream is to dance in the realm of all possibilities. To step outside the box, to try on, to stretch and grow. To choose a vehicle and choose and be a vehicle of holy manifestation. Holy manifestation. My friends, let us become the vehicles of holy manifestation. Yes, let's be that by realizing the truth. And the truth is that we really, honestly, cannot fail. Well, it looks like failure passes. We keep our mind on the higher good, the dream. We cannot fail because we have the power of the universe behind us, in front of us, and within us at all times. And so it is.
And so